Good morning, children. Again, I continue my lesson Europe. Children, in the previous class, we discussed about location and physical features of Europe. Now, in this class, we know about climate, seasons, agriculture, and industrial revolution in Europe. Second project work for this lesson. How is agriculture similar or different in Europe from that of our country? Children, write your answer on A4 sheet and then upload in Google Classroom. Europe has a cooler climate than us. Most of its countries experience snowfall in winter. Their summers too are not as warm as ours. What are the factors influence the climate of Europe? First one, distance from the equator. The regions near the equator remain warm all round the year. As we move northwards or southwards away from the equator, it gets cooler and cooler. Indeed, the polar regions are covered with ice all round the year. Next one is the Atlantic Ocean. The climate of Europe is influenced by another factor, the Atlantic Ocean, and the winds blowing from it. This impact is felt more by the regions along the Atlantic Ocean than the ones which are far inland. In the winters, it is quite cold in Western Europe, but it is even colder in Eastern Europe. Thus, countries like Poland and Russia have severe winters, while France and Great Britain are comparatively warmer. Russian winters are so cold that the rivers and the nearby seas freeze. This difference must be because of the nearness of Western Europe to the Atlantic Ocean. Next one is westerlies. Winds blow all the year round from the Atlantic Ocean towards Europe. Since they blow from the west, these winds are called westerlies. These winds are warmer than the land temperature and are moist too. The climate of Western Europe is affected by these warm and moist winds all year around as they blow throughout the year. Warm ocean currents. The waters in the ocean are not static. They keep flowing from one place to another along the continents. These are the ocean currents which flow for thousands of kilometers in the ocean just as rivers flow on land. One such ocean current is to be found in the Atlantic Ocean. This current originates near the equator where the waters are warm throughout the year. This current flows westwards to North America. This current is called Gulf Stream in America, while in Europe it is called North Atlantic Drift. The coastal waters of the east coast of North America and the west coast of Europe do not freeze in winters thanks to the Gulf Stream. Thus, it is possible for ships to visit the ports on these coasts even during winter. Western Europe also benefits in other ways from the Gulf Stream. The warm currents are very good for fish breeding. They contain ample food material for the fishes. As a result, the fishery industry is well developed in the North Sea near Britain. This part of North Sea is called Dogger Bank. Fish is an important part of the food of the Europeans, and fishing is a very important industry in Europe. Mediterranean climate. Look at the countries of southern Europe. They have Mediterranean Sea to their south, so they are called Mediterranean countries. Spain, France and Italy. These countries are called as Mediterranean countries. The lands along the Mediterranean Sea have a distinct climate called the Mediterranean climate. The Mediterranean countries are the southernmost countries of Europe. As a result, the winters here are not too cold and the summers are warm. The westerlies blow here during the winter months only. These winds bring rain to the Mediterranean countries. In other words, It rains here only in winter. Such rainy winters and dry summers are termed as Mediterranean climate. This climate is very good for growing juicy fruits. Next, in our country we have 3 seasons: winter, summer and rainy. However, most European countries have 4 main seasons. They are winter, spring, summer and autumn. First one, winter. As November approaches, it begins to get cold. December onwards it gets very cold and snow begins to fall once in a while. It shows heavily on the mountains and less on the plains. The sun shines once in a while. The sun rises very late in the day at about 9 or 10 o'clock and sets by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Next one, spring. The landscape begins to change as March comes. The days get longer and the nights shorter. The snow begins to melt and new shoots appear on trees. The fields are plowed in spring and sowing is done during this season. Wheat, rye, barley, corn, sugar beet and oats are the principal crops. Next one is summer. It is summer from June to August. It doesn't rain much and there is more sunshine. The days are longer than our country too. The sun rises as early as 4 o'clock in the morning and sets after 8 o'clock in the evening. In fact, in the northern countries like Sweden, Norway, the sun doesn't set at all. These countries are called lands of midnight sun. Summer is the season of agriculture in Europe. Crops in the season, there is no need for irrigation as the occasional showers are sufficient for the crops. At the end of summer, the crops are ready to be harvested. In our country, we have 2 agricultural seasons, Rabi and Kharif. Thus, it is possible to grow crops for nearly 8 to 10 months in a year. On the other hand, in France and other European countries, cultivation is possible only for 6 to 7 months. Next one is autumn. The climate changes once again in September and October. Leaves turn red and yellow and begin to fall. Agricultural operations are wound up. Hay is cut and dried for feeding farm animals in winter. Grapes and other fruits are plucked and used for making wine, jams and juices of various kinds and preserved in other forms. European plains and river valleys are very fertile. It rains here all through the year and the rivers also do not dry up in any season. As a result, the plains are highly suitable for agriculture. However, a large part of Europe is mountainous and are not suitable for agriculture. Some countries have very little agricultural land. For example, only 3% of the land in Norway is available for cultivation. 30% of England is cultivable while in Germany it is about 40%. This is very different from our country. In India, as much as 50% of the land is cultivatable. There is an acute shortage of land in Holland. The people of Holland have reclaimed a small portion of land from the sea by building embankments called dikes. Dikes to push back the sea. The land that it is reclaimed, it is called as polder. Next, agricultural revolution. Europe was like Asia, continent of small farmers and landlords. However, over the last 2 centuries, this has changed so drastically. Most of the cultivation in Europe is carried out in large farms, more than 50 to 100 acres in size. The big farmers hire laborers to work on their agricultural fields. They also use heavy machines like heavy machines like tractors and harvesters. Almost the entire the market. Sometimes the farmers also hire machines from nearby. In Europe, agriculture is practiced as a commercial enterprise just as any industry. The farmers make his living by selling their entire produce and getting all of their requirements from the market. The agricultural technology they use also requires the use of hybrid seeds, chemical fertilizers, pesticides, etc. However, compared to our country, very few people in Europe are depend upon agriculture. Most of them work in industry or service sectors like banks, transport, etc. Next, industrial revolution in Europe. The industrial revolution, as you know, started in England around 1750, and soon factory production spread to France, Holland, Germany, Spain, Russia, etc. However, as times changed, European countries began to use less and less of their own mineral resources and relied on imports from other countries. The old mining towns and old factories were closed down and new factories grew in new areas. Industrialization also enabled the European countries to import agricultural goods from other countries. Thus, they relied less on the agriculture of their own countries for their food and raw material requirements. Hence, Europe became dependent upon trade with other countries. Initially, this trade was with their colonies in Asia, Africa, and America. However, as the colonies became independent, they had to develop new ways of trading with them. Children, you will read about the Industrial Revolution in Europe in a greater detail in the next chapter. Okay, children, thank you.